Okay,
I'm
okay,
kidding.
ready? Three, two, one. Hey y'all, I'm Amelia. I'm here with London and Sai, and this is Time Management with Robotics. We're all on FRC Team Apprentice 2687, and we're here to share our experiences and how they've impacted our time management, schedules, and priorities. So to first begin, if talking about the other extracurriculars that we're a part of, I'm in debate on top of robotics. London is in wrestling, and Sai is involved with Scouts of America. So let's begin. Um, I guess so. Sai first. What strategies and techniques from time management have you found that are helpful to you?
I think some strategies for sure are like finding apps and websites where I can put my thing down or planners, like written planners, where I can like put my daily schedule or my monthly schedule, and be like, I have to do this, this, and this, this week or today or whatever, the schedule is for that day.
Okay. For London, what is or was your biggest challenge so far?
I think last year one of my biggest challenges was definitely just like energy levels. I had wrestling practice in the mornings, and then after school I had robotics, and then after that I had to do homework. So I definitely had a lack of sleep for a while. And honestly, just learning how to time manage and to do more work like during the school day and not like leave everything until the end of the day to where I'm already pretty exhausted was a real game changer for me, and like making sure I had enough energy to like stay healthy and get through the day while also being a student athlete. And the next question for Amelia would be, how do you figure out your individual priorities?
I think, yeah, priorities for sure are really important to know what value to use the most. I think I always fall back on, for those who don't know, our Coach Morgan is the head coach of our program of three sibling teams. And so I think I always fall back to what he says is that the one priority is always you, your health, your family, school, and then extracurriculars. Because I think your mental, physical health should always be your number one priority. It's always the most important. And then family, school, keeping up with your grades, and then last should probably be your extracurriculars because at the end of the day, they are just extracurriculars and they shouldn't be your entire life. So going off to Sai, how do you deal with constant conflicting schedule issues?
So I think that goes back to like individual priorities and like how I create those individual priorities. Um they're they're always conflicting, especially like BSA and like being a leader and like making sure everyone's doing what they need to be doing. And having that schedule, it's pretty hard to have those conflicting schedules. And so basically, what I do is like, I make sure I set my priorities right, like you were talking about, and making sure I know where to put my time. And that ties back to like for both of y'all, like how do you put your priorities from off season and in season in robotics?
Oh, I guess I can go first. I think definitely during off season, if there are any debaters out there who also do robotics, I think my number one priority during off season was of course like after health's family school was debate because those in the during season the schedules do kind of coincide, but I think during off season I tried to put a lot of effort into debate and getting state qualified. I don't know if it's the same in all other states, but I know definitely in Texas getting state qualified is number one, and then so I wouldn't have to worry about that so much during season. And so I could focus more of my time and energy into season, and I didn't have to worry about getting state qualified and all of that in debate.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to Amelia, I also have conflicting schedules with robotics and wrestling. So during off season, for sure, I think wrestling is more of a priority, and just making sure to put as much into that as I can while also learning new skills and developing new ideas during off season, especially this year since this is our apprentice year, which is like the biggest learning curve. Just learning as much as I can for season, preparing for that as best I can is probably really important. And to bounce off of that and continue, I think that usually with time management, it can be really stressful, especially when you're doing a lot of extracurriculars at once. So, Sai, how do you personally deal with burnout?
Ooh, burnout sometimes, okay, we're all human and burnout happens and like sometimes it's hard to deal with it. But when I like actually can be like I need to put this down and I need to put my foot down on this. I'm like I need to learn how to say no. I think main thing is learning how to say no is such an important skill in your life. And being and not overcommitting because if you overcommit, then you're like losing then other people are losing the opportunity to get better from you. So like let's say I overcommitted to being like president of a club. And then I can't commit to those smaller commitments. And since I have bigger commitments that I have to do, like robotics and scouts, um, and I think that's a really important skill you have to learn is how to say no, especially like the society we live in, having Instagram, all the social media, it's really hard to say no. So, do y'all also do the same thing? Like, do
Yeah,
y'all
for
also
sure.
have that struggle?
I
Yeah,
think.
especially. Oh, London,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Um, I'll just do like a quick. I think especially with Instagram and social media in general, TikTok, YouTube, like Snapchat, all of that. I think especially with just like the self-control of like saying no and being like, I need to stop. I need to focus on school, my extracurriculars. I need to put my time where it's best well spent instead of being on like doom scrolling. And I know I've been a very big victim of doom scrolling, and I think that was probably one of my hardest challenges was just saying no to Instagram.
No, I definitely agree. I think, as well as time management, discipline is a really big, important thing to have just to be successful in life. Because if you can't step away from your phone and step away from like the temptation of not doing your work and just like goofing off, then it's a lot harder to be successful, especially when you're really stressed and you have a lot more like extracurriculars and stuff going on. And to kind of continue that train of thought, Amelia, how has being in robotics and other extracurriculars impacted your life?
I first of all, I think that's a really good question. I think especially dealing with all of the stress of having to do debate robotics. I'm also in scouts with Psy, and I think especially all of that being combined into one, it's definitely important to have a good schedule, and plan out what you're going to do, and know yeah, like just know what you're gonna where you're gonna put your time. And yeah, I think it's definitely in the beginning it was very stressful. I think because as a sophomore now, I think my freshman year was just spent trying to balance out everything and making sure that I wasn't too burnt out or too stressed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hmm?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, so Sai, specifically with Scouts, how has the things you've learned from Scouts impacted your time in robotics?
I think most importantly is like communication. I think having good communication and having like good connections with people is so important to like how you do it. Um, I was talking to a professor earlier, and he was saying, like, it's not about how smart you are. Like, until a certain point, it doesn't matter how smart you are. It's about the connections you make with other people. So it's really important to have that communication. And that's what I've learned in Scouts and those, like, leadership qualities that you also see going into Scouts. Um, so I think that's one of the important things. Um, and, like, Amelia, going back to you, how do you I know you were in the Westlake program since you were like really young. You did FLL there. So how has the dynamic of our program like influenced you?
Yeah, I think I really just have to credit our program's pipeline. I think being in it since I was in seventh grade, doing FLL, eventually getting to high school and doing FRC. I think the dynamic of our program, having sibling teams, has really helped me a lot. As a first year, I was really lost. I didn't know what to do with all of the things, like all the extracurriculars that I had to do. So I think definitely being able to look up to the older students, ask them for advice, have people that I can rely on and depend on really helped a lot. And I think that's probably one of the best things of our program is the opportunity to be able to have students that have gone through the same things that you've been through to know and help you with the same experiences. So London, going on, I know wrestling and robotic season overlap. What is something that you've had to sacrifice to maintain a good work-life balance?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it kind of comes down to what you decide to prioritize. Because you can't do everything, unfortunately. You definitely have to pick and choose what are the most important things to you, what are the most important things for your future. So definitely, I think a little bit of just like social life and maybe some like clubs and stuff that are just kind of more about like having fun and goofing off that I haven't had a chance to be a part of. And I've given that time and I've put it into robotics wrestling in school because to me those are definitely more of my priorities. And I think just with time management in general, you do have to make some sacrifices. And it's just important to pick and choose to have your priorities straight of what is going to help you in the future and what are you enjoying the most and balancing those two things. And I think especially committing to too many things can be a really big issue. So, Sai, I think you kind of answered this already, but how can learning to say no be a good form of time management?
Saying, like I said before, saying no is such an important skill, and learning how to say no, doesn't just put you in a nicer position, it also puts other people in a nicer position because they know they don't have to rely on you. Knowing that they have to rely on you and putting that pressure on you can also get you stressed out and get you burnt out, like you were saying before. And that's super important. So, a question for both of you again is like, if you didn't have like the time limits on your phone for social media and like the bell to stop what you're doing every day, and like you're in college and you get to do whatever you want, how would you manage your time management?
Okay,
Go
I can
ahead.
go first.
There you go.
Um, I think, yeah, for sure, if I didn't have, because I'm not gonna lie, my self-control with social media is not good. I think I have um just like settings on my phone to just like and especially like screen time on my phone to like shut it down when I need it to. Definitely has helped because I know for sure when I wasn't putting my time and energy into where it needed to be and I was just doom scrolling, it was probably one of the like worser feelings because I think I was just feeling like my mental health if I didn't have it, like the settings and the limits would definitely be much worse because I felt like down that I wasn't being productive, but at the same time I didn't have the energy or the discipline to go and be productive. So I think it's just a bad cycle overall.
Yeah, I think to continue that, like some ways you can counteract that, like in high school and college and whatever, is just surrounding yourself but with people who have good time management skills and are very focused on school. I think especially with like the temptation of social media apps, just being around other people and seeing that they're putting a lot of time and effort into school is like a positive peer pressure effect that'll make you want to do the same and change your priorities to maybe like put a time limit on social media apps or delete them to be able to be more focused on the important extracurriculars and manage your time better. And I think to continue on the topic of like apps and things like that, Amelia, what are there any like tools that have helped you stay organized and focused with time management?
Yeah, for sure. And going quickly into what London said, I 100% agree with the mindset of who you surround yourself with affects you as a person. I think that's 100% true. I think it's important to surround yourself with people that bring you up and push you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Yeah, I just strongly believe in that. And then so going into that apps, definitely there is this one app, I think it's called Noon or Zune, something like that. It helps like block off my apps and set time limits, or you can just use the one in your phone, as well as Google Calendar and an app called My Homework. Those two, like Google Calendar and My Homework, have definitely helped with my planning, knowing what assignments are due, when I should be doing them, what and for with my homework, it can organize it by the type of assignment, the time, events, the classes, all of that. I think it's really helpful, and it's definitely helped me stay focused and plan ahead. So going back to Sai, um, how have these extracurriculars influence your personality and your development as a person?
Ooh, okay, so for robotics, I think like it really helped me create this like, okay, I think I want to go into engineering. It helps me like be like, I think engineering is cool. I'm a designer at 2687 apprentice, and it was like it was really fun. And I was like, okay, maybe I want to do this when I get older. And what we use is like SolidWorks and CADing, and what and we like learn these skills, and then we create a robot, and then we go to competition, and then we get to like experience these things. And I feel like um, understanding how your robot works and understanding like the design of it is just so cool. And I think that's what helped with robotics. But for scouts, I think like it's not, like I said, it's not just your skills, it's also being able to communicate and having those like leadership qualities. And I think that's so important going into your career and your college, especially if you want to go into like the like become your own CEO or like make your own business or like whatever. It's so important to have those leadership qualities, especially knowing how to delegate. Um, and yeah, I think that's really important. And like, so how does that, going back to like, how does that separate people who feel, how do you, how do you separate people from feeling under pressure and like from those who feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, I think, like you were saying, with different experiences, that I think, especially in high school, is a really big factor into shaping who you are. So I think it's definitely important to try a lot of different things and put yourself out there. And I think one way to separate people, the people who succeed under pressure from those who feel really overwhelmed, again, is just like priorities and trying a bunch of new things and figuring out what you enjoy, what maybe like you'd want to pursue as a career, and just seeing like how it affects you personally. Like, I know when I started high school, I was a lot more shy and quiet, and I think through both wrestling and robotics, I've learned to be better just like socially with talking and being more confident in myself and working with a team. So I think it's very important to just put yourself out there in order to have these experiences and learn how to be successful with time management. And continuing on this and the different myths and ideas with all these different extracurriculars, Sai, what is like a common myth that you've discovered not to be true from one of your extracurriculars?
Um, I've discovered that being like being a certain way doesn't restrict you from doing something. Like, let's say I don't have a computer to do SolidWorks. That doesn't restrict me from being able to like learn how to do SolidWorks, want to have that feeling. It's always about like it's about your mindset, right? And that goes back to what Amelia was saying about like how society like reflects on your personality and how that like showcases that. And I think like um yeah. So, Amelia, how do you stay focused on your mental health like throughout your extracurriculars having so many?
Yeah, for sure. I think stress and burnout are pretty common, especially now as there's more and more pressure on like the youth currently. I think just focusing on mental health, I think it's due to my number one priority being my mental health. If I'm feeling like stressed or burnout, I think it's good to like take a break, like a step away. I know it's difficult because like you feel like you don't have the time to be taking a break or resting when you there's always like kind of a go 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 mentality. I think just breaking away from that, taking a step back. I either just like I try to stay away from electronics because on social media you also see people are being like you feel the thoughts of, oh, there's other people out there being more productive than I am, and it's just not good overall. Um I think just like taking a break, going outside and like either like going for like a light run or just walking around and just like kind of feeling like fresh air instead of just being like cramped and always working like it typically like on electronics, which is even worse. I think just really knowing when to stop and knowing when to just take a breather and like go talk to if you need help, go talk to your friends. They're there for you. And yeah.
I think going on about that, like one of my one of my secret hobbies is to listen to like weird podcasts or like think listen to like their drama instead of my drama. And I feel like that like takes away you from your reality and lets you like just like focus on their reality, being like,
Hmm.
wow, it actually sucks so much and I don't have
Yeah.
this, so it's nice.
Yeah, especially I think it's good finding distractors just to keep your mind off of all the stress you may be feeling. I think that's definitely a good idea.
And obviously, you
Um,
can't like get too many distractors because you obviously have to stay focused on what you're doing. But
yeah.
having like, a breather is always very important.
Hmm. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's just knowing when to stop, know when to stop studying to so you don't get burnout, don't get overstressed, and also knowing when to stop and stay away from distractions, social media. And I think definitely getting enough sleep. That's probably like number one is just getting good sleep and knowing when to stop. Um, so I guess going into London, this can be our last couple questions. I think we have time. Why do competitive activities demand time management more than casual ones?
So, from my experience, I think I'm definitely part of at least two competitive activities, robotics and wrestling. And I think managing time in competitive activities versus casual ones is a lot more stressful just because it feels like there's a lot more pressure into performing well and doing well that isn't really as crazy with casual activities, like just like a regular club that meets like bi-monthly or something. It's pretty just low key and I don't know, not as stressful. While if you have people like depending on you, like you do in robotics, or like just having people need something from you, it definitely makes it a lot more stressful and more important to use your time management skills wisely. Because now you're not just on your own time, you're on other people's time. So for me, that is definitely one of the more important things. And I think this also can kind of get into like team dynamics and team morale. So my question for Sai would be, what happens to team morale when time is wasted or poorly managed?
Oh, you might be
Sai, we can't hear
muted.
you.
Oh yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, of the year, this topic is a lot being like, wow, a lot of people aren't doing anything, or like, um, the team morale is so important to know if no one's up like, oh, I want to do this. This goes back to like the mindset you have. um waste time. You're like, oh, we can just goof around. We can just wait until we can do something else. You have 6 weeks. You don't have to plan anything. It like it ruins how you're gonna go about your competition, your upcoming thing. I think it's all so important, especially like we're saying about society. Like we have to be together as a society so we can all benefit from our own. Uh, so having that team morale is so important, and uh, and that goes back to how does accountability in the way we treat that.
Yeah, so maybe this will be like one of our last questions because we are running low on time, but how accountability changes the way we treat deadlines. I think accountability, just like time management discipline, is another like really important skill to be able to have because if you're not able to like hold yourself accountable, you're it's a lot easier just to like let go and be undisciplined and not do the things you need to do relating to like school and just like things that normally don't seem fun. And in terms of deadlines, I think those who are able to like really hold themselves accountable are a lot more successful with meeting deadlines. Where if you aren't, then you kind of procrastinate and wait until the very last second, and then you're like, "Uh oh, I have all this work to do, but I don't have any more time because I've wasted all this time due to the fact that I haven't been accountable beforehand." So I think the our last question I'm going to give to Amelia, which would be if you could teach only one skill to guarantee long-term success, why might it be time management?
Um, I think that's honestly the best last question. Is definitely because time management doesn't just impact how you manage your school extracurriculars, all of that now, but it also will reflect in how you behave in college, in your career. I think it is like long-term success because if you know how, I think high school is really like the experimental years of building the habits that will make you, I guess, make or break you later on in life. I think just being able to know what you want, plan it, get it, manage it well, allocate your time to where it's best fit will definitely be helpful in college because in college, no one's really watching you. You're kind of like on your own for the first time. And that's really what shows how you've developed and grown as a person in high school will reflect how you behave in college and then going on to that into your career is definitely knowing how to manage your time well, especially in high school with all the various things you're doing will definitely impact you in the future and yeah, be very successful and helpful. Yeah. I think we're gonna stop there. We're running short on time in this Zoom. So, thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, please contact us at the email on the screen at westlakerobotics@eansisd.net. In the subject line, you can just type time management with robotics, and then any questions you have will be answered through there. And for those who want to look back on this, this will be recorded on and posted on YouTube at FRC 2468 on the YouTube channel. And thank y'all so much for watching. This is Time Management with Robotics.
Happy kickoff.
Bye! Happy kickoff!
Happy kickoff.
All right, cut. Hey, that was low-key really good. Hey, did I
That was
actually
really
just
good.
leave?
Yes, I left.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, that was low-key elite.
No, that was good.
Good. That's good, that's good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, low-key, after you deleted the questions, I deadass forgot the questions, and I was like, ooh, I can't even
Oh,
look back at it now. But it's okay, it's okay.
that's not
I,
bad.
I'll smooth. Okay. Are you just gonna go straight to the building?
I'm probably gonna like shower and get ready. I might like go get a smoothie or something. But
All
yeah,
right. See ya.
see ya.
See
See you
you in
soon.
like 30 minutes.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. See ya.